Hello and welcome. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of our podcast network and everything we do. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump and UConn legendary men's basketball player Jake Voskuhl. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large or small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, slip and fall, a car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife got angry one night and decided to stab you, the Finch Firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut. He will go to war to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. You just have to remember, in a pinch, call Finch or go to his website, thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance is owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program where he trains boys and girls in the sport of their choice from the ground up, helps them reach their full potential, be the best they can possibly be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, he has a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford, Connecticut. Go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com.
All right, and here we are with the man himself, Razul Wallace of the House of Changes for Inspire Synergy. Razul, great to see you.
What's up, Cully? Hey, how you going, bro?
So, how has everything been going at the house? Are you still standing 8 strong?
We are still standing 8 strong.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's been a good little run. We actually started a wait list now, so that's exciting.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah.
There's people actually reached out to you guys.
Yeah, people have been asking to be,
Goddamn good.
added to the wait list. I mean, we'll see, if anything when the time comes, but I take it as a positive.
Yeah. Have any of the facilities actually reach out to you, or the people themselves reach out to you?
So some facilities reach out.
Good.
We've had like a fair mix, I'd say.
Good. And have they all been in Connecticut?
I think so. I think everything's been in Connecticut. Everything I can think of has been in Connecticut. Not a state yet.
And the places that reached out, are they typically PHP programs that have guys that graduate and look to place them for sober living?
I think that's a lot of them. We've had like hospitals. We've had guys like call like from prison. We've had like a wide range.
Yeah, that's huge. If you can get a contract with one of the prison facilities, I know that's hugely important for a lot of guys' condition on being released. So that's something. And I sent you that website that has a list of the grants that you can apply for. One of the questions we had after last week's show. Marcus was a superstar, by the way. Everyone loved him, and everyone wants to know if he's single, by the way. Well, everyone knows that you're taken. So
I'll let him answer that. I'll let him answer that.
Someone asked if you have had any issues with neighbors, and if you've had neighbors who haven't heard of sober living before.
You know, it could just be a function of them not knowing how to get in touch with me, but I haven't. You know, I know that, you know, people, anyone who can get signed up for notifications about people that are on the registry, you know, and when they move into the neighborhood. So I would have thought that if there was going to be anything, you know, I would have heard something in some way, shape, or form. But I haven't gotten anything, you know. I haven't.
Oh, that's great news.
Right. So, yeah.
So if a neighbor were to call, how would you describe House of Changes and sober living to someone who's never heard of sober living before?
I would say that basically what we do is, as of right now, we help people with an affordable option for living. They can pay for a bed and everything is included. And just because affordability is, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a big part of it. Affordability, giving people affordable housing, because that is a big difficulty, especially in Connecticut. Have you heard any common myths about sober living? Anything that you hear most often from people?
Myths.
Yeah, something they think about it that's not really true. Either from family members or people around it that don't quite understand the requirements or what it entails.
You know, it's
because it's not just an apartment. It's not just a boarding house. I mean, that's what I find. People think that, you know, it's just people living into a house and they have certain requirements and chores that they're required to do. They don't quite understand the purpose of it fully. And, you know, the myths are they can come and go as they please. They can do whatever they want. They're not all employed. So that's why I was curious.
I guess because I feel like it's situational, and I feel like to a degree you can control the environment to make it lean one way or another, right? So like, you know, you hear about worst case scenario, and then you hear about, you know, good situations. And I think that it can be both, like the best of it and the worst of it, but it's really just a function of how effective you're managing it. Like, for example, like as a property owner, right? If I don't have a good screening process and vetting process, I'm going to have a much harder time as a landlord than if I do, right?
A horrible time.
You know what I'm saying? And in our case, we actually are pretty open, have an open door policy and let guys in. But I do think that having someone like Marcus in the house who kind of holds like a high standard to the guys and holds them accountable helps. I think actually just having a high quality place where they can live in, it kind of that gives a level of kind of well-being.
Well, I think it makes them more confident. I mean, they have a nice place to stay. They got a roof over their head. And the biggest thing is you try to get them into a routine. And having a routine and that stability is what builds the foundation that they're going to need for independence. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
And Marcus is a godsend for everything he does. Um, he literally is their entire support system. He's a shoulder to cry on. He'll crack the whip when necessary, but he does all he can to bring the house together. And I think that makes a huge difference when you have management like that, that's been there before, that understands what it takes. And I think he is the glue. And with you and Ja being involved, being visible, that's also huge, because I've seen situations where nobody knows the owner, nobody knows the CEO. So making yourself accessible is big, is really big. When a resident moves in, the first 72 hours can be challenging, can be difficult. The intake process. Um, are they required to, obviously they do a UA? Do they have to see a doctor at first? Is there any type of physical or anything for them to be cleared?
No, we do an intake form, have them do a urinalysis,
Yeah.
kind of walk them through the rules and regulations of the house. I mean, it's not really strict as long as they have a deposit, and then even if they don't, a lot of the times we can. There's a couple
Yeah.
organizations that have helped a good number of guys come into the house, and so we're pretty lax. The requirements are pretty minimal. The other thing we talked about was like a minimal amount of time sober. So we haven't really come across that as too much of an issue right now, and we probably should revisit it and to refine it. I know that a lot of places do like 6 months, or maybe we can do like 3 months at least, as opposed
Yeah,
to
I think you could do 3 months. I think you could do 3 months to transition into it. I mean, it's a higher level of care, but it's still to where the point they have independence, they have the ability to work, and they have the ability to afford their room, and that's all huge. How do you balance that structure and autonomy so residents learn accountability, responsibility, without feeling control all the time?
I mean, it probably is. It's just conversational, and it probably fluctuates from time to time. Where there's times when guys do feel like there's a good amount of autonomy, and there's probably times when guys feel like this is bullshit and there's too much like micromanaging. And I think we do our best to kind of take each situation as it comes and be as fair as possible. But sometimes, like the dude that didn't want to get up for meetings, like you know,
that's not asking a lot. I mean, come on.
I don't think so. And we're actually more like we set the rules out up front, and once they get in, we actually give them more leeway than the rules say.
Right.
When they come in.
Right.
It's the kind of thing where we're like, and we give, if a guy demonstrates accountability, responsibility, ownership, all of that, we give him like pretty much unlimited leeway. It's only if they kind of show that, it doesn't really seem like, we don't know if he's, really in it, or,
right.
We're concerned and he's showing symptoms of maybe relapse, or like that's really when we are kind of.
You have to have awareness for that, and it's tough to see because we're master manipulators. We know exactly what we're doing. We know what heartstrings to pull on, and we know how to get away with stuff, like the best of them. Have you? This is a question from Cindy.
Okay.
Wanted to know, have you handled any family reunifications when relationships have been strained or toxic? Have you tried to get that going?
No, we're not. I'm not sure. I do believe that family support systems are extremely significant. We're not at the point where we try to like engage with that. We do kind of get feedback as to like where they are with it.
Right.
And I think Marcus does, especially if the family like reaches out or is engaged, Marcus will communicate with them, and there can be some engagement with them. But I don't think that we really try to push, because we don't know like all the circumstances.
Everyone's different.
They're like, yeah.
So it's not something that you can jump into without knowing. Full transparency, communication, and if they're ready to do so. And is everyone in the house, are they required to have a sponsor or be working to get a sponsor or do the 12 steps in some form?
Well, not everyone, because not everyone has the substance abuse.
The same, right.
You know what I mean? If substance abuse is an issue, or there's a relapse and we feel like they need more support, then we definitely would. Or if they're on probation and substance abuse, like if they never had an issue with like substance abuse and it might be just incarceration or financial challenges or the charges that they had, like sexual assault is a big one. That's like a really
that's
or being on the registry, that's a challenging one.
It is. It's very challenging to work around for anyone. Is there any specific screening criteria that you use or evaluate when you accept or decline applicants? And, which of those criteria would you say are the most important?
Probably, I think the sobriety one, or the time in sobriety.
The clean time.
The first thing I'm thinking about it, because I think that is what could put the whole dynamic of the house at risk most significantly.
Yeah, no, for sure.
When there's a relapse, I know that when we had the relapse in the house, one of the dudes like I had to say something because I was like really getting triggered, and luckily he didn't he didn't relapse himself.
Yeah, you were getting upset.
Huh?
You were getting upset.
When?
Oh, you said triggered. I thought you meant you yourself were getting.
Oh no, not me. The dude that told us, because he's watching him use, and then he was like, it made him feel like using.
No, that's the worst. That is the worst.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Down south, we have Julius Williams, Jordan Harris, and the rest of the team of the Trench Mob. They train offensive and defensive linemen. They compete in 5v5 tournaments and college showcase camps all across the country. They have sent kids to schools like Florida, Florida State, Miami, Clemson, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, just to name a few. They have sent the highest percentage of kids who work with them to Division I schools on scholarship. To work with the best, go to trenchmobfootball.com. Ned Von Young runs the Fresh Fold Laundry Company in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, a high-end laundry service. You book online, put your laundry out in a clear plastic bag. They pick it up, wash, dry, and fold it for you in 48 hours. They also offer an expedited service if you need that as well. They have an online subscription model, weekly or bi-weekly, where you can get your laundry done that way. They offer deals for college students. So if you want your laundry done, you can do it in your own dorm. They have a pickup and now a delivery service. So you can have your laundry done without leaving the comfort of your own home or dorm room. To sign up, go to their website, my-freshfold.com.
So you've had the 4 pillars training that has been going on, education. Did you have one? Was it yesterday? Unmute yourself.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. We did.
How has that been going?
It's been like the first one, me and Marcus led, but we haven't had a lot of experience with like the programming and
Oh,
public.
they're putting you. You guys have been having.
Oh no. We just did the
Oh.
orientation,
Oh.
the first one.
Okay.
The first one, just bringing the guys in, letting them know
Right.
what to expect. And
Right.
I was like, man, without having experience in like a structured thing, I was like, But then the guys that we brought in for each of the pillars.
Yeah, you have a great team.
No, thank you. They've been good. Like the first one, Path to Purpose, Keith Smith, he was really good energy. The guys were like really engaged. They felt like they were in it. And yesterday, the one we had yesterday, I saw the start of it. I had to leave because my son had something, then I came back. But we just like each one seems to get better as far as like how we operate and set up and prepare. And I think that we will have a good one. I think we'll have a good impact, but two, I think we'll have a lot of like information and ideas on how to provide this better in the future. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. For sure you will.
Because you know
I know you did also with Lieutenant Dillon the de-escalation training.
Yeah.
How is the de-escalation? Have you had any instances where it is played a part in de-escalating crises, and you got to do it while preserving residents' dignity with it as well, because they're men. We all have egos.
Yeah, I would say that instance with that one resident who was like being real irritable when I told him he had to go to the meeting. Like I had to like stop and breathe, because ultimately what I perceived from the course is it was a really in-depth understanding of how to create awareness that things are rising, and then like a few things you can do to kind of get yourself back under control to then better respond to the situation.
And then you want to change their thought process. You try to get their mind thinking about other things instead of focusing on the problem at hand.
Yeah.
And just that communication can change everything.
Right.
And it can stop tragedy from, if it's something becoming a tragedy, to being resolved in a few minutes just by knowing how to redirect the conversation.
Yeah.
So it's been a big help. You've talked a little bit about relapse protocol. How would you say you go about it? And, you're trying to balance holding these guys accountable, but you're also trying to have compassion for them as well. And I think you've done that by sending them to a program and still maintaining their bed for them. But when do you recognize relapses, and is the protocol just having them take a test? If they fail, depending on what they fail for, is there a protocol for what's done next?
I mean, the main protocol is that there will be there'll be a PHP requirement if there's anything. Now,
immediately.
Yeah.
PhD. Okay.
I think that when it comes to, and you tell me if you feel or see differently, there seems to be like levels of substance abuse. For some of the, if someone has, let's say, like a drink or maybe weed, we might have a conversation and talk about, what that looks like, and what, if any, requirements. They might be able to move forward without going to PHP, right? But some of the other stuff, like, when we did, like the guy that did that we had to send, for the the crack, man, he was geeking, like you could see he was like, you could see it in him. All he was thinking about was how to do it again. Whether it was get more, hide, how he was going to, and even then his judgment was so like
Oh,
compromised
it's clouded completely.
that he wasn't even thinking reasonably about how, like, you know what I mean? Like,
You don't care about anything else, dude.
no,
It consumes your existence.
no. So this,
All you're worried about is your next high, and especially with crack because it's short acting, you have to do it so often,
yeah,
and that's why it's a major concern. So,
right,
if you get in the way of that, it can be very, very difficult.
right,
But I mean, your relapse protocol has worked out well because the one guy you sent to PHP came back and he's been at the house.
yeah.
Um, what would you say, because you do have a program, which element of this program, because you have more resources, you're doing the 4 pillars, you did the de-escalation, which program element would you say has produced the largest improvement in outcomes of the men in the house?
Hmm. I'll be, I don't even know if it's a program per se. I feel like what seems to be really positive is having like more like individuals that are like positive with a growth mindset, like encouraging. That seems to
The men
be,
in the house.
yeah, more impactful than like everything else.
Because you would say in the past, you did not have that with some of the men. They were just
You know,
looking for a place to sit.
you get different mixes, guys that are just trying to get by and a place to stay, guys that are really engaged and trying to like better their life and their situation, and then everything in between.
Right.
And I feel like right now we have a couple of guys that are like really motivated and kind
That's
of
great to hear.
team players, and then you have your one really right now one grump kind of, and even then he seems like
Is he coming around? Is he
he
made
does.
any improvements?
He seems like it, like there's more of like a give and take kind of where he's not just irritated all the time, but sometimes irritated and sometimes more like like all right,
Right.
like in it.
Right.
But again, that could, I could see that being a function of the environment in the house too,
Absolutely.
more so than
It's tough.
anything great that we're doing.
It's tough when you're living with 8 men. It's not easy. All right,
Yeah.
we'll be right back and we'll be finishing up.
Finally, we have James Whitfield of Luther James Insurance. For the last 3 years, James has dedicated himself to the art of financial services. He specializes in life insurance and insurance policies. He will save you money, make you a boatload of money, and do so tax free. He also specializes in retirement planning because we know the stress that goes into thinking about retirement. How much am I going to need? For how long? Do we have enough? Because fear of the unknown is real. To contact James, go to www.lutherjamesinsurance.com.
All right, so the trip to Florida, how did you feel that went? It went well. I got to go to the beach and got a suntan and saw people.
Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, how was the trip to Florida?
Oh man, it was. I didn't realize how much or how good it would be connecting with everybody, but we had a blast, man. We really did. Um,
Did you, business wise, did you figure some things out? Did you
yeah,
put
yeah,
together some ideas and some plans going forward?
yeah. So one, let me just say that SAD is a real seasonal affective depression disorder.
Oh, yes, it is.
I've been highly irritable all winter. Man, I got
Well, it's because of the lack of vitamin D and the snow. Christositis has it too.
oh man. I didn't when I got out there in the warmth and the sun, like I felt like a different person.
A new person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. When you're out there and the days are longer and you're having fun, it's completely different. But I mean, how many of you total were on the trip?
there was 8 of us.
For the weekend, right?
It was me, Freddie, Bell, Nut, Mo, Perk, Soel, AB, and Uwe. Uwe might be joining.
Oh, he's gonna join.
Well,
Yeah, he would be perfect for that.
I think so. We haven't like followed up with any paperwork or not yet, but I think he's going to.
Good. Good. He would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
And he's already on your board anyway.
Right.
And so I sent you a link to the website that we created. All our shows are going to be on there. Send it out. Get the guys to sign up for it. We can promote anything you're doing when you decide when you're going to have your fundraiser, what you want to do. We can put that on there. I'm going to write blogs and articles for some of the other sports. And I am looking for some other athletes. If you know any softball, track, soccer players, we want to try to do shows for them. So that's also what I'm looking for. But yeah, we're gonna add content for them, and we're gonna do stories on that. But I'm gonna do a story on the House of Changes, and to try to promote donations and try to promote your fundraiser when it comes out, and we'll get people there. It's going to be great for alumni. We're going to do events, tailgates, and really try to give back. So just spread it around and try to join. And I think it's going to make a big difference, especially connecting UConn alumni so they can work together. But it's great to hear that the trip went well. Everything is going well in the house. I mean, you've had a full house now going on. I mean, it's going to be 3 months, knock on wood, right? At the end of March, 3 or 4 months.
Maybe 2 to 3.
February, March. Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And it's great that you have a wait list. And you owe me for that, by the way, because I called around and harassed everyone and told them to send people to you. But yeah, we'll figure out the grant situation. And I should be out the second week in April. And we'll work on getting those sponsorships and figuring out how to get those grants. But keep doing what you're doing. Have fun at gymnastics, I believe.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And tell Ja he's a jerk because he doesn't come on anymore. Tell Ja I miss him. He's got to come on. And tell Marcus we're going to have him on again. So
yes, sir.
Just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back.